Since his explosive debut in 1993's Nightfall storyline, Bane has evolved from a simple muscle-bound adversary into one of comics' most strategically minded antagonists, earning his place through intelligence as much as brute force. His iconic image, the lucha libre-inspired mask, the venom-enhanced physique, the calculated brutality, has made him a fixture across comics, animated series, video games, and blockbuster films. From Tom Hardy's memorable portrayal in The Dark Knight Rises to his appearances in Batman the Animated Series, Bane has proven his staying power as both physical and intellectual threat. What makes Bane truly compelling from a character construction perspective is how his creators engineered him as the perfect anti-Batman, a figure who combines Batman's strategic mind with Superman's physical power, creating a villain who can outthink and overpower the Dark Knight simultaneously. His character anatomy reveals masterful design work that goes far beyond the typical strong villain archetype. Every element of his construction, from his prison origin to his venom dependency to his tactical brilliance, was carefully crafted to serve specific narrative functions while exploring themes of strength, weakness, and the corrupting nature of power. This isn't just another Batman villain. It's a character architecture designed to expose every flaw in Batman's seemingly perfect heroic construction. But to understand how this masked tactician became the one villain capable of breaking Batman both physically and psychologically, we must first examine the prison hell that forged his unbreakable will. Section 1. Origin and Backstory. Bane's origin in the hellish Peñaduro prison represents character anatomy operating at peak efficiency, a backstory that creates the perfect foundation for a villain who understands both survival and strategy. Born and raised in a Caribbean prison where he served his father's life sentence, Bane's childhood was engineered by his creators to produce a character who learned that intelligence and physical power are equally necessary for survival. This anatomical choice creates a villain whose every skill was earned through genuine hardship rather than inherited privilege, making him Batman's philosophical opposite while matching his dedication to excellence. The genius lies in how this origin ensures Bane never takes his abilities for granted. Every victory is earned, every strategy tested in life-or-death situations. The structural brilliance of this prison backstory becomes apparent when examining how it functions as the perfect counterpoint to Batman's origin. While Bruce Wayne was forged by a single night of trauma in a world of privilege, Bane was shaped by decades of systematic oppression in the world's most brutal environment. His creators engineered this contrast to create a villain who can claim moral superiority over Batman. Bane survived hell and made himself into a weapon, while Batman had every advantage and chose to become a vigilante. This anatomical design creates fascinating tension because Bane's arguments aren't entirely wrong, making him a villain who challenges Batman's worldview as much as his fighting skills. Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight Rises showcases how this origin translates perfectly to cinema through Tom Hardy's portrayal of a revolutionary who genuinely believes in his cause. The film's interpretation of the Lazarus Pit as a prison that few escape reinforces the character's core anatomy. Bane as someone who has overcome impossible odds and now seeks to test others in the same crucible. Hardy's physical performance and distinctive voice work emphasize how Bane's mask isn't just protection, but a symbol of survival, turning his greatest weakness into his most recognizable strength. The movie proves how well-constructed Bane's foundation is by making audiences simultaneously fear and respect his methods, even while opposing his goals. This foundation of earned strength and strategic thinking creates the perfect platform for abilities that will transform Bane from prisoner to the one villain capable of conquering Gotham itself. Section 2. Abilities and True Nature. Bane's combination of superhuman strength and tactical genius functions as brilliant character anatomy because each ability serves to highlight the limitations of the other, creating internal conflicts that drive compelling narratives. His venom-enhanced physical power grants him the strength to break Batman's back, but his dependence on the drug creates a vulnerability that mirrors addiction. His strategic brilliance allows him to orchestrate elaborate schemes like the Nightfall storyline, but his need to prove his superiority often leads him to reveal himself when he could remain hidden. The anatomical genius lies in how these abilities work against each other. His strength makes him overconfident, his intelligence makes him arrogant, his need for recognition undermines his tactical advantages. The construction of Bane's venom dependency reveals sophisticated character architecture that operates on multiple narrative levels. The drug isn't just a power source, it's a symbol of how strength can become weakness, how enhancement can become enslavement. His creators engineered this dependency to ensure that Bane's greatest asset remains his greatest vulnerability, creating dramatic possibilities in every story. When he's cut off from venom, his physical power diminishes, but his desperation increases, often making him more dangerous rather than less. This anatomical choice transforms what could be a simple power-up into a complex character trait that generates internal conflict and external drama. Across different media interpretations, Bane's abilities consistently serve to explore themes of power, corruption, and the price of strength. In Batman, the animated series, his intelligence often overshadows his physical abilities, showing how his mind is his true weapon. The video game, Batman Arkham Origins, demonstrates how his tactical planning makes him a threat even before he enhances himself with venom. His ability to break Batman isn't just physical, it's psychological, strategic, and philosophical. The anatomical sophistication here lies in abilities that create as many problems as they solve, ensuring that every demonstration of power comes with consequences that drive future conflicts. But these formidable abilities only scratch the surface of a character whose philosophical complexity transforms him from simple antagonist into Batman's most challenging mirror. Section 3. Complexity and Philosophy. Bane's character anatomy reaches its most sophisticated expression in how his construction generates philosophical challenges that force Batman to confront the foundations of his entire worldview. His position as a revolutionary who sees himself as liberating people from corrupt systems creates a villain whose methods are monstrous but whose motivations aren't entirely wrong. This anatomical choice forces audiences and Batman himself to grapple with uncomfortable questions about justice, privilege, and the effectiveness of working within broken systems versus destroying them entirely. The philosophical complexity lies in how Bane's creators engineered a character who can legitimately claim to be fighting for the oppressed while using tactics that harm innocent people. The architectural genius of Bane becomes most apparent in how different interpretations explore his role as both destroyer and liberator. His takeover of Gotham in The Dark Knight Rises showcases how his character construction allows him to function as both terrorist and revolutionary, depending on perspective. His speech about giving Gotham back to the people resonates because his criticism of inequality and corruption contains truth, even as his methods prove monstrous. This creates a character whose evil actions stem from recognizable frustrations with systemic injustice, making him a villain who reflects real-world anxieties about revolution, class warfare, and the failure of institutions to protect the vulnerable. The most disturbing aspect of Bane's character anatomy lies in how his construction reveals the potential darkness within anyone who has suffered enough and gained enough power to seek revenge. His journey from victim to victimizer mirrors real historical patterns of oppressed people becoming oppressors when given the opportunity. His mask becomes a metaphor for how trauma can both strengthen and deform us. How survival can require us to become something we never intended to be. The question that haunts every Bane story isn't whether he's wrong about society's failures, but whether his solutions are inevitable results of systematic oppression or choices that reveal his true nature.